These corrupt soldiers executed her parents and got away with it. But they made one fatal mistake. They left her alive to humiliate her. Unknowingly, they just created a deadly monster who'd avenge brutally. The story kicks off back in 2008. We meet Peter, a former CIA operative turned private contractor. He's working with his partner, David Mason, a guy he's completed countless missions with. Today, they have a massive job on their hands, protecting a high-profile ambassador. As they hit the road, they're told they'll get their final orders in 20 minutes. While they prep, they realize the ambassador's life is in serious danger because a professional hitman is closing in. Peter takes charge, swearing he won't let anything happen to their target. David heads out first to secure the perimeter, taking a sniper position inside a nearby building. It isn't long before David spots a suspicious man in the crowd. By now, Peter has arrived with the ambassador. David calls it in, but Peter is firm. He tells David not to fire and repeats it over and over. Do not shoot until I tell you. But David doesn't listen. He pulls the trigger and takes out the target, but the mission ends in a total nightmare when a young child is caught in the crossfire. Peter is absolutely devastated, and that's where everything changes. 5 years pass, and we see Peter's old boss, a man named Henley. He tracks Peter down with a brand new mission and a file full of intel. Henley explains that there's a killer loose in Moscow, taking out targets one by one. He believes the next person on the list is a girl named Natalia. She's currently working for a powerful man named Feudo, who has deep ties to some very dangerous war criminals. Feudo and his associates are planning something big, a move that could literally change the future of the world. Natalia is the only one who can stop them because she has access to information that could expose their entire operation. Feudo wants her dead, so Henley needs Peter to step in. His goal is simple: protect Natalia at all costs. Peter agrees to the job and heads straight for Moscow. We then shift to the Moscow Parliament, where Feudo is giving a major speech about his future plans. While he's busy, Natalia realizes this is her chance. She sneaks into Feudo's private office and manages to crack his safe. Inside, she finds a stash of cash, a weapon, and some jewelry, but she also finds exactly what she's looking for: a secret diary. The diary is filled with photos that could completely ruin Feudo. Natalia quickly starts taking pictures of the evidence, but just as she's finishing up, she hears someone coming. She locks the safe just before Feudo walks in. He's looking for his glasses, which she calmly hands to him before making her exit. It's a close call, but as soon as Feudo sits down, he realizes his safe was opened. He knows Natalia was the only person in the room and immediately figures out what she's up to. He doesn't waste a second and puts the entire FSB team on her tail. Now, Natalia is running for her life through the streets of Moscow as agents try to block her at every turn. Natalia's luck finally runs out when the FSB blocks her path. She's forced out of her car, staring down the barrels of their guns. But just before they pull the trigger, Peter storms onto the scene. He launches a brutal attack on the agents, creating just enough chaos to grab Natalia and pull her into his car. As they tear away, Natalia is flooded with questions, and the FSB is still hot on their tail. Peter drives like a man possessed, using every trick in the book to lose them. While this chase is heating up, the CIA is watching everything from the shadows. They've had their eyes on Natalia the whole time, but they're baffled. They can't see the driver's face and have no idea who is helping her escape. Inside the car, the tension breaks for a moment as we learn the shocking truth. Peter and Natalia are actually husband and wife. Natalia tells him how much she's missed him and their daughter, Lucy. It's a heavy moment, but Peter knows they don't have time. He needs a name, someone who knows the truth behind Feudo's plan. Natalia gives him the name, Mira Filipova. Peter immediately calls Henley to report in, but the news is grim. Henley tells him the CIA has officially ordered a hit on Natalia. We then see David, Peter's former partner, who has been assigned to pull the trigger. David doesn't hesitate. He scales a roof and lines up the perfect shot. As soon as Natalia enters his crosshairs, he fires. The bullet hits home. As she lies dying in Peter's arms, Natalia hands him her phone and, in a final act of desperation, snaps his arm to force him to focus. Peter is shattered. He just reunited with his wife, and now she's gone. Driven by pure grief and rage, Peter vows to get revenge. He checks Natalia's phone and finds a crucial photo of a girl with a mysterious man. He quickly pulls the memory card and ditches the phone before the authorities can track it. Meanwhile, in Serbia, Henley is already digging into the name Mira Filipova. But just as the data starts to load, he hears his front door being kicked in. Knowing he's been compromised, Henley pulls his gun and destroys his entire computer system to keep the intel safe. Before he can do anything else, the intruders swarm him and knock him unconscious. Back at CIA headquarters, an agent confronts David. He's furious that Peter was left alive, but David brushes it off, claiming Peter wasn't a threat. That's when the CIA chief steps in and sets him straight. He warns David that he has no idea what Peter is truly capable of. Peter is a one-man army who could have wiped out David's entire team if he wanted to. The chief reveals the most dangerous part of the situation. The woman David just killed was Peter's wife. Peter spent years teaching David never to get emotionally attached, but now, David has given Peter the ultimate reason to go to war. He tells David that Peter isn't just coming for the shooter, he's coming for the entire department. He's already taken out 3 agents, and he won't stop until everyone involved is dead. David realizes the gravity of his mistake and agrees to the mission. He has to kill his mentor before his mentor kills them all. On the other side of things, Peter arrives at Henley's house only to find 2 CIA agents already there. They're deep into Henley's computer, trying to scrub whatever intel is left. Peter doesn't waste time, he takes them both out and gets to work on the server himself. While searching for Mira Filipova, a new name pops up, Alice. It turns out Alice is the only lead who knows where Mira is hiding. Peter starts tracking her immediately, but he isn't the only one. The CIA has also flagged Alice and they're moving in fast. We then see Alice sitting in a restaurant for a meeting, completely unaware that she's being watched. Enter Alexa, a cold-blooded professional assassin sent to finish her off. Alexa approaches Alice and hands her a phone, saying there's a call for her. On the other end is Peter. His voice is urgent as he warns her that she's surrounded by killers and needs to move now. Alice doesn't wait to find out if he's lying, she bolts. Within seconds, it's a chaotic 3-way chase through the streets with Alice running, the CIA agents closing in, and Alexa hot on her heels. Just as the net is about to close, Peter screams onto the scene in his car and pulls Alice inside. As they speed away, Peter lays it all out for her. He tells her that the woman in the restaurant was a contract killer and the others were CIA. Everyone is hunting for Mira Filipova because of the explosive information she's holding, and they all believe Alice is the key to finding her. Peter demands to know what she knows, but Alice insists she hasn't seen Mira in years and has no clue where she's living. Peter decides to shift gears and takes her to see a man named Demiso. Peter plays it smart, offering Demiso a deal. He'll provide info on the people coming to kill him if Demiso spills everything he knows about Feudo. Demiso finally cracks and reveals a dark secret from their past in Chechnya. It turns out Feudo got greedy over the region's oil. To get his hands on it, he orchestrated a horrific false flag operation, blowing up a building full of Russian civilians and framing the Chechens. This triggered a brutal war that allowed Russia to seize the oil while the CIA looked the other way. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, the CIA chief is reaching his breaking point. He's furious that Peter managed to snatch Alice right out from under their noses. To push David over the edge, the chief hands him a flash drive containing an old evaluation report Peter wrote when he was training David. In the report, Peter labeled David as untrustworthy and a liability. Seeing his mentor's true thoughts about him sends David into a blind rage. Any lingering loyalty he had for Peter is officially gone. Now, it's personal. After David leaves the office, he runs into his neighbor, Sarah. The chemistry between them is obvious, and it's clear they've started developing feelings for each other. Meanwhile, back at their hideout, Alice is struggling to wrap her head around the chaos. She asks Peter why everyone is so desperate to find Mira Filipova. Peter breaks it down. Mira is the ultimate witness. She knows exactly what Feudo did in Chechnya and which CIA agent helped him cover it up. If they find her, they can expose the truth to the world and take down everyone involved. Until she's found, no one is safe. Later that night, Peter watches from a window as David and Sarah head into David's place. They get intimate, but when David wakes up in the middle of the night, Sarah is gone. He lunges for his gun, only to find that it's missing too. That's when Peter steps out of the shadows, holding a gun to Sarah. David is stunned and demands to know why Peter abandoned him 5 years ago and why he wrote such a scathing report about him. Peter doesn't give him a straight answer, simply saying he'll find out soon enough. In a cold, calculated move to create a distraction, Peter injures Sarah and makes his escape. David is forced to choose between chasing his mentor or saving Sarah, and he chooses Sarah, rushing her to the hospital. While this is happening, we shift to an interrogation room where a CIA agent named Celia is questioning Henley. Henley doesn't hold back, mocking Celia's belief that the CIA exists to help people. He tells her the brutal truth: the agency's real job is blackmail. They don't want to stop Feudo, they want Mira's information so they can hold it over Feudo's head and control him. This is the dark reality of how the department operates. On the other side of town, Feudo is seen meeting with the assassin Alexa, frustrated that the job isn't finished yet. Alice eventually makes a move of her own, meeting with a journalist named Edgar. She's ready to blow the whistle and starts explaining how the war in Chechnya really began. She describes the horror of how Russian forces slaughtered civilians and how many Chechen girls became refugees who were exploited by powerful men. Among those refugees was Mira, the girl Feudo claimed for himself and used for years. Just as Alice is getting into the heart of the story, Alexa strikes. She launches an attack on the meeting, but Edgar jumps into action, holding Alexa off just long enough for Alice to bolt. While Alice is on the run, David is busy digging through Peter's old classified files. He finds a set of old photos and stops when he sees a picture of Peter's daughter, Lucy. A dark light bulb goes off. He heads straight to the CIA chief with a new plan, claiming he's finally found Peter's ultimate weakness. Peter finally tracks Henley down at the secret interrogation site. In a shocking turn of events, Peter angrily points his weapon at his old boss, demanding the ultimate truth. Who was the CIA mole that helped the Russians in Chechnya? Before Henley fades, he coughs up a name, Perry Winston, but he also drops a massive bombshell about the girl, Mira. He reveals that Mira is far more than a witness, she's a genius. She played dumb for years to survive Feudo's cruelty, but she secretly speaks fluent Russian and English. She's been soaking up every dark secret Feudo ever had. Suddenly, it clicks for Peter. Mira isn't missing, she's been standing right next to him the whole time. Alice is Mira. She used a dead girl's identity to hide in plain sight. At the same time, back at HQ, the CIA realizes the same thing. Their target and their lead are the same person. The story shifts to a haunting flashback of Chechnya. We see the moment Feudo murdered Mira's parents right in front of her. Now, back in the present, Mira has reached Feudo's house, fueled by years of trauma. She's ready to end him with a shard of glass, but Feudo is too strong and overpowers her. Just then, Peter storms in like a whirlwind, clearing the room and cornering the villain. Mira tries to finish him, but Peter stops her. He tells her that a quick death is too good for this man. He needs to suffer first. During the interrogation, Feudo reveals the most painful truth of all. Perry Winston wasn't the only mole. Henley was in on it from the start. Peter realizes he's been a pawn in Henley's game to wipe out every witness who could link him to the war crimes. As the CIA closes in, Peter sends Mira away with a backup plan. If he doesn't make it, she has to take the truth to the embassy. On his way out, Peter runs into David. They engage in a brutal fight. But instead of killing his former student, Peter traps him and hands him a phone. On that phone is the recorded confession of Feudo, proving Henley's betrayal. David is stunned. He and Agent Celia try to report it, only to realize the entire chain of command is compromised. The stakes turn personal when Peter finally makes it home. He tries to call his daughter, Lucy, but a familiar, cold voice answers. It's Henley. He's kidnapped Lucy, and he reveals that David was the one who delivered her. Henley doesn't care about the crimes. He wants the evidence to turn Feudo into a puppet president for the CIA. He orders Peter to a specific location if he ever wants to see his daughter again. While Peter heads into the trap, Mira is at the railway station, frantically uploading the entire story online to expose the conspiracy to the world. Alexa, the assassin, finds her location and moves in for the kill. Meanwhile, Celia tracks Lucy's location and sends it to David. David, realizing he was used to kidnap a child, flips the script. He's driving with Henley's goons, but he purposely crashes the car into a wall, killing the guards while he survives to go after Lucy. Back at the station, a high-stakes showdown erupts. Mira isn't a victim anymore. She fights back and takes out Alexa for good. She hits send on her article, exposing the truth to the entire world. Simultaneously, David rescues Lucy and brings her to Peter. In a moment of silent understanding, Peter forgives his student. He reunites with Mira and Lucy, and the three of them disappear into the night. The fallout is massive. The evidence goes viral, and Feudo is dragged before officials. Mira stands tall, telling the world the horrific details of the war and the abuse she suffered. Even with the truth out, Feudo remains arrogant, believing his power and the media will protect him from real consequences. But justice finds him in a way the law couldn't. While on vacation, a single, perfect sniper shot ends his life. There's only one man with that kind of aim: David. He knew the system might fail, so he finished the job himself. The game is over, but for the November Man, the mission never truly ends. Peter got his revenge, Mira found her justice, and David finally pulled the right trigger. That was the incredible story of the November Man. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe to Cinemaned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.